right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and another great tasting here that we did at Cafe Max for $95. Wow. We do some incredible values, man. You know, we had this event sold out. A few people didn't show up, but let me tell you, the people that were there were just amazed by this stunning array of 6 vintages of Bonneau Du Martray. Hey, we started out with one of my favorite small producers, Vazart Cocart, Grand Cru Blanc de Blanc Champagne, one of the greatest values we have in the store at around $45, all Grand Cru, and it's amazing the value you get in small grower champagnes. But the reason we were here is for one of the most important producers in all of Burgundy, and when you look at Burgundy, there's only one producer. Actually, there's 2, I was going to say, but Domaine de Romanée-Conti does make a premier cru wine on occasion, Von Romanet, and Bonneau Du Martray only makes Grand Cru. And they have the largest holding of the Corton Charlemagne vineyard, which Corton Charlemagne, a very famous Grand Cru, the largest of all the Grand Crus, the only one that's a Grand Cru for both red and white, if you take away the exception of Musigny. George Comte de Vogüé does have the right to make a white Musigny, but their grapes are not old enough right now. They just call it Bordeaux Blanc, the most expensive Bordeaux Blanc in the business. But these guys only do Grand Cru wines, and mostly white with a little bit of red. We don't even have the red available in this market, but Corton Charlemagne is known for its intense minerality. And this producer, like I said, by far the largest land holdings, they have 10 hectares of the Corton Charlemagne hill, and very good exposures there. We got a map we can show you where they are on the hill, because that does make a difference. And the current generation of family running this winery, Jean-Charles Lebault de la Moninière, he is making some of the greatest wines that have ever been produced here. The 6 vintages we had on the table this evening, 2004, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. I didn't even need to read the reviews. I know that I wanted to buy the 7, because for me, that's a vintage. Every time I have 7 whites from Burgundy, to me, they are drinking at or near their peak. Now, this is a wine that will last a very long time. 4, not considered a great vintage. For most people, the whites were very good. This 2004, I thought, showed brilliantly. It had a lovely creamy texture there, a nice aroma of tree fruit, apples, and lemons, and that pronounced minerality that you get from Corton Charlemagne. Very creamy texture, drinking beautiful, starting to enter in its 2nd phase of development. This was the only wine that was really focused more on the minerality than the fruit. The 2006 took a long time to open up. This wine, to me, was very good. It was excellent when we opened it, but man, after a little while, it just blossomed, and definitely the most improved of all the wines on the table after it opened up. This wine was served out of Magnum also. That may have had something to do with it, but the fruit was a little bit reserved at first. Really had that light flinty minerally note more pronounced, and wow, like I said, at the end of the night, most excellent juice, one of my favorite wines. But the favorite wine, the best wine on the table, well, according to the critics, with 6 votes for first and 3 votes for second, was the 2007. The one that I bought before we even tasted the wines, because like I said, I know this vintage, and it's very elegant. The wines are very balanced, and just drinking beautifully right now. And like I said, the crowd picked it overwhelmingly as the favorite wine on the table. The 9 vintage, very ripe, very fat vintage, a lot of lovely candied tree fruit. That textbook minerality still there, but takes a little time to open up also. This wine, very big, and it's got a long finish, and even though, you know, the 9s, some people criticize them because they don't have the acidity of the 10s. This one's got great acidity. It definitely is one you want to hold on to for a little while longer. The 11 vintage, another very approachable wine, very light in the flinty, sulfury, minerally note, but lovely bouquet of Asian pears and apple. Definitely a leaner white. You notice that stone and that minerality character, but this wine already drinking very nice. 11s are wines that you do not have to wait a long time for. Unfortunately, the 12s are wines that are going to need some time. This wine had a lot of that minerality, that sulfur, kind of like a bazooka bubblegum kind of note to the nose. Really weird. I've never gotten that in a wine before. Maybe that's because Dan Daly pointed it out to me, and you know, that's what happens. The power of suggestion is oh so great. And this wine had a lot of fruit, and that sulfury, minerally note starting to blow off as the wine opens up, and this wine really opened up nicely. The 12s have got great structure. They are going to need time, but the 12 whites for me, an outstanding vintage. And if you like older Burgundies, this is one that you could hold on to for a couple decades. All right, that's what we had to drink with our friends from Augustin. Thank you very much, Cynthia and Parole, for putting on this event. Bonneau Du Martray, vertical of Corton Charlemagne. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.